We're back here at the office of Councilmember Charles Barron, one of our fierce leaders in the community. Councilmember, the next question is President Obama.
Well, Brother Obama,
has he failed the people of color?
Well, you know, he has. I think he has not delivered to the black community. And when you talk to him about the black community, he says simple stuff like, what? I can't pass a law. I was reading in the papers today. I can't pass a law saying this is for black people. I got to be a president for all the people. Tell that to the Jews.
Well,
he doesn't say that to the people when they said, we're not supporting you unless you support Israel. He supports Israel. We're not looking for anything that we don't deserve.
I'll tell you something. I asked Congressmember Yvette Clarke the same question, which is every other ethnic group says, support my issue. This is where we stand.
Right, and they get it.
And you go here. And this is what I asked as a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. When does it become a point? We stood by, we couldn't talk about race and we couldn't talk about our issues for the president to get elected because can't get too far because now, wait a minute, we can't talk about the black community because then they say you're a black president and you just like Jesse. Now you're in.
What's the excuse now?
When can we talk about issues that pertain to our community? Because as you said, we can talk about Israel. You go down to Israel. You say you support this. You say you support that. Based on that's the initiative. That's what they want.
Right.
What about us?
Right. That's what we got to say to Barack Obama. And don't tell us that when I pass health care, that's going to be for everybody. So I don't have to single out blacks. When I pass stimulus money, that's going to be for everybody. So I don't have to single out blacks. Never in our history have we ever benefited by that universal approach that when America gets it, blacks get it. That never happens. The only time we progress in this land is when we specifically said we need affirmative action. We need a civil rights bill for black people. We need this for black people. We need health care for black people. And I'm not telling them don't take care of the whole country. Every time he comes to us and saying, I got to be a president of all the people. We're not black Americans, Latino Americans, we are Americans. That's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of nonsense. What we need to do is look at who is suffering most from most of the diseases, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's HIV, AIDS, whether it's cancer, you name it, we're suffering the most. We don't have money for that. So you got to take care of us. And if you can't say black, say I'm going to take care of the urban community and the rural areas in the South. Say something. Give us a wink so that we know that you
But that's what I asked the Congresswoman. I mean, behind closed doors, did anybody tell you something? Can somebody tell us? Right. I mean, when can we talk about it? So now what grade would you give him?
But I give him, he failed the black community, I think, because in this first year, he was able to address everybody else. He addressed Wall Street and didn't take him more than a year to say, here's $800 billion, we got to fix up the economy. He addressed Afghanistan, the campaign promise. He brought a surge of 30,000 troops and went to Nobel Prize folk and tell them, I sent 30,000 people over there to kill and be killed. And this is not about Gandhi and King, because we got to take another way to stop terrorism, Al-Qaeda and all of that crap. He did that in his first year. In his very, very first year, he made sure that the automobile industry was bailed out in his first year. What did he do for black America? What happened for us in his first year? And that stimulus money, he went down to New Orleans in his first year and loosened up the projects that were stuck, the FEMA projects that were stuck so that these contractors can get paid. How many black families returned to New Orleans in his first year? What did he do to the unemployment problem? 15 point some odd percent for black people across the nation, 10% for the nation, and 50% for blacks and youth in some parts of cities and countries, because you got to deal with the people that's not in the workforce, not just the ones receiving unemployment benefits.
While you said that, I'm going to throw something at you and we're going to get back to the president because you still didn't give him the grade. But
for the black community.
Okay, but East New York was the highest unemployment rate in the city at 19.7, 19.9. They had it on the news today. And that just go along with it. But now getting back to the president, you gave him an F.
Yes, he failed us because he has not delivered anything to the black community that I can point to. And to me, to get 95% of the black vote in this nation, and then we can point to nothing that this president has really done for our community specifically. He'll say that he has a B plus because he's looking at health care, and they may pass something on that, which, by the way, speaking of health care,
we're about to go at it, because I got a question for you.
Okay, but before we get to health care, then, what can we point to in the black community that we can say because of Barack Obama
We've got
in health care and employment, because of Barack Obama in education, what have we really gotten? Now, I'll give them credit for this. Some of the stimulus money that comes down from the state went to NYCHA, and they were able to get some things for some of the public housing, but the federal government has cut NYCHA's budget. You know what I did? I went online.
And you sit on one of the NYCHA committees for housing? Are you
I'm on a higher education chair of CUNY. But I went online and I looked at the Bush budget for 2009, and then I looked at the Barack Obama budget for 2010, identical. $600 and some odd billion for the Pentagon, $46 billion for education. Hundreds of billions of dollars for the Homeland Security, chump change for culture and commerce. They almost have the identical budgets. Where's the hope, Brother Obama? Where's the change? We're waiting.
Okay, so now let's talk about health care. This historical vote is coming down the pipe on the 24th of Christmas Eve. Health care and climate control. It's not resonating in our community. We have a real big problem. Of course, we can talk about who wants to work for Diddy and for the love of Ray J, but our people don't talk about it. I did something on Facebook and I asked, but how come no one talks to people of color when it pertains to health care?
That's an excellent question because it's complex, it's confusing, it's 2,000 pieces of paper, and it's all over the place. A lot of the congresspersons don't even know what's all in the bills, and they're just taking pieces of it and trying to get what they want out of it. But let's be clear on this. There's a difference between healthcare insurance and healthcare.
Of course.
When you say 46.3 million people are uninsured, another 25 million are underinsured, and when you got 42 million covered by Medicare, another 41 million covered by Medicaid, 26 million are self-insured, 11 million are covered by the military, veterans, and another 176 million are covered by private companies or employers. That's about 280 some odd people covered one way or another. And that's broken. And that's controlled by the pharmaceuticals and the insurance companies. Premiums are high, deductibles, co-payments, payment out of pocket. Then you got 46.3 uninsured, not even in that pool. That's what they were going after. So this bill comes up with 31 million of the 46, still 25 million uninsured. Of that 31 million, you still have deductibles, you still have co-payments, you still have money paying out of pockets for prescription drugs.
That you still can't afford.
That you can't afford. So those 31 million are being put into a system that's broken. You don't have no reform. This is a health care plan that has the insurance companies profiting tremendously. That's why 52% of their stock rose as soon as they heard that the bill was going to pass. Their stock went up.
Well,